Welcome to MCR Medical's guide to using the PRESTAN AED Raizor trainer. Let's get started. In this video, we will go over what you receive in the box when you order an AED Raizor trainer, where to insert the two AA batteries, how to attach the training pads to the connector cables, what each button on the trainer does, what the pre-installed settings and scenario are, how to set up and use your AED trainer for the first time, how to remove the pads from the manikin for optimal lifespan, and finally, where to store your AED trainer. When you first receive your package, carefully cut the tape so as to not damage any of the items inside. When you open up the box, there will be an envelope with the AED trainer pads, a gray connection cable, and the AED Raizor trainer itself will be wrapped in bubble wrap. Remove the bubble wrap and protective plastic cover off of the AED trainer once you are ready to use the unit for the first time. The Raizor trainer requires two AA batteries, which can be inserted on the back of the trainer right below the speaker. Put the battery cover back on, and the trainer is ready to use. The connection cable does not come connected to the AED training pads. You will need to lift the plastic fastener, as shown in the video, to attach the cable to the pads. The Raizor AED training pads come in a plastic storage envelope and feature graphics that reinforce correct pad placement during a training session. The pads are completely latex-free. To use the training pads, you will need to attach them to the connection cable. Lift the bottom of the AED pad off of the storage case so that the hole cutout is free, but make sure to keep a majority of the pads still stuck to the case. Slide the fastener under the pad, lining up the plastic peg with the hole cutout. Press the plastic fastener down until it clicks in place. Repeat this process so that both pads are connected. The pads are now ready for use. The green power button turns the trainer on and off, the red shock button simulates shocking the patient, and the cord port is where the AED pads connect. Press the power button to turn the unit on, and tap the power button to pause a scenario. The green button will blink when paused. Tap it again to resume the current training scenario and hold the power button down to turn the trainer off. The AED Raizor trainer comes pre-installed with the scenario shock, shock, no shock. This means that when the trainer analyzes the patient for a heart rhythm to determine if a shock is needed, it will do so in the order shock, shock, no shock. The training scenario will have the student do CPR compressions and ventilations for 2 minutes between each analyzation period. The Raizor AED trainer will then continue looping this scenario until it is turned off. During the 2 minutes of compressions and rescue breaths, the trainer will verbally tell students when 10, 20, and 30 compressions should be completed, if going at a rate of 100 compressions per minute. The Raizor trainer instructs students to administer 2 rescue breaths after every set of 30 compressions. If you are not training with rescue breaths, you will need to instruct students to disregard this prompt, as the setting cannot be turned off. The Raizor is installed with the semi-automatic shock setting enabled. This means that the student will need to physically press the shock button when instructed to continue the training scenario. A shock will not automatically be administered to the manikin.
Remove clothing from the
Now that the pads
chest.
are connected and we know how to use the
Apply
trainer,
pads
let's go through a
as shown
training
in the
scenario.
pictures.
To start, turn on the AED
Apply
trainer
pads
with the
onto
AED
patient's
pad
bare
cable
skin.
unplugged. Stick
Plug
the
in
AED
pad
pads
connector.
to the manikin in the correct orientation as indicated on the back of the pads. Once you have the pads in
firmly
place,
on skin.
plug the cable into the Raizor when you
Plug
are
in
ready to
pads
move to the
connector.
next prompt. The trainer will then move on to analyzing the patient, instructing
touch the
students to
patient.
stand clear.
Analyzing heart rhythm.
Once determined if a shock should be
Do
delivered,
not touch
press
the
the red
patient.
shock button
Analyzing
as
heart
indicated by
rhythm.
the trainer.
Shock
Once the
advised.
shock has been delivered,
Do
start
not touch the
CPR
patient.
as indicated by the Raizor.
Everyone clear.
When going through the pre-programmed scenario,
flashing
each round of
shock button.
compressions will last for 2 minutes before the
Shock
trainer will
delivered.
analyze the patient for a heart rhythm.
Begin CPR.
The trainer will then have you do 30 compressions and give 2 rescue breaths for 2 minutes straight, or 5 times,
10.
between analyzing the patient. The trainer will count by tens at a rate of 100 compressions
20.
per minute as a guide. If you are not teaching with rescue breaths, have students ignore
30.
that voice
Give
prompt
2
and continue
breaths.
compressions for the full 2 minutes. If you need to pause your training scenario, you can tap the power button and it will blink while paused. You may resume that scenario by tapping the button again. If you would like to turn the trainer off,
10.
you can hold down the power button. The scenario lasts for 3 2-minute cycles
20.
and will continue cycling through the pre-programmed scenario until turned off. When you have finished the training scenario, pads can be removed from the mannequin and placed back in the storage envelope. Hold on to the plastic clasp and peel the pad off the mannequin. Do not remove the pads by the cord, or you may break the wires inside. Make sure the envelope is clean prior to placing the pads to help prevent lint buildup. The cord should remain attached to prevent damage to the pads or clasp over time. Unplug the cord from the AED Raizor trainer during storage to prevent unnecessary bending of the cable. The storage envelope, pads, cord, and trainer are now ready to be put away. The Raizor trainer is small enough to store in the bag with your mannequins. The pads and trainer fit in the small pocket in the side of the carrying case, or may be placed in the larger space with the mannequin. Store the pads and cords unplugged from the trainer to prevent the cords from getting bent, which can eventually break the wires inside. If your trainer ever becomes dirty, you may wipe it off with a dry towel or a lightly damp cloth. If the trainer is heavily soiled, you may use household cleaners with caution. The trainer should not be exposed to moisture and should be stored in a cool area out of direct sunlight. That concludes our guide to the PRESTAN AED Raizor trainer. If you ever have questions about our products, we can be contacted at the email sales@mcrmedical.com or the phone number 614-782-2100. I hope this video was helpful and thank you for watching.